I was just asked to speak. I don't have anything particularly prepared. And plus, I got to follow this. Like, that was incredible. So, yeah. I've been a little depressed lately, if you follow me on Twitter and on other social media, simply because of what's going on back in Ethiopia. When I walked in here, the gentleman at my table said, "When's the last time you've been back to Ethiopia? Did they let you in?" Because I'm not exactly welcome there anymore under the government. And the gentleman who spoke earlier was on point. And if you've noticed, they opened that new Adwa museum with the where they sort of took, shall we say, liberties with the history. And that is what you're fighting against. That is why celebrations like these are so important, because you get the real version of events. Somebody on Twitter was trying to push the idea that Raso Lula was not the guy who was fighting at the Battle of Degali. And I'm there going, really? Are you out of your mind? Like, I have the actual information right here, book after book after book. There are people at work now trying to erase your history. Don't let them. Don't. Keep these things going. Keep this going. Keep these traditions going. I don't say this just for you. This is, as was said earlier, this is important for the entire continent. We've got a gentleman here from Rwanda who, in Ethiopia was the inspiration to other African countries right across the continent, And of course you cite that this is part of Black history. What I'm struggling to articulate is, well, I ain't Black, kind of, obviously. When Adwa was won, what doesn't get said often enough, because you won't hear the white people say it, is you freed them as well. You gave them an example to say, wow, wouldn't it be nice if we just dropped the, well, I can't swear in front of them because there's small children here. What if we just dropped the crap and didn't oppress our fellow human beings? And you had to get a victory, an African victory, to do that. To say, you don't have to do this anymore. We're living in a world where you are dealing with a disgusting amount of white supremacy and racism, which I'm 61 years old. I never thought I would see this kind of thing again, because I grew up in the post-era of MLK and Malcolm X and Medgar Evers and all those who cleared the territory so that younger people wouldn't have to put up with this crap. So it kind of ticks me off to see a resurgence of idiots who look like me, come from my background, and who spread this toxic filth. And so people always ask me, why are you interested in Ethiopia? Why are you interested in all this? And I say, who do I have to be? Because your history, your culture is inherently interesting. It's inherently fascinating. Especially for, I'm a kid from Winnipeg whose grandparents got off the boat around 1912. You better believe I find your history way more interesting than mine. But the thing is that you're going to step out of this center tonight and you're going to go, yeah, that was very nice. You are in a fight now for your culture. You are in a fight now for your history. And you don't realize it, or hopefully some of you do, but maybe younger people don't. And so I got invited to speak up here last minute. I'm approaching, you want to speak for 5-10 minutes? I'm going, yeah, not because I want to politicize what is always a happy occasion, but because I see these kinds of occasions endangered. If we keep having a regime over there which is massacring Amhara, which is massacring and killing Garagi, which is marginalizing the Afar. You're not going to have too many. You guys are going to be the self-congratulation sort of therapy group in the diaspora because you won't be able to have events over there. And then the people who lie about your history are going to win. And the fact of the matter is, as was said earlier, all of the peoples came together to fight the invader. It wasn't just like that idiot who bills herself as a East Africa expert and thinks that the battle was only fought by Tigrayans. No, it was fought by Tigrayans, it was fought by Amhara, it was fought by Oromo, it was fought by all of them coming together and recognizing, oh my God, we're in trouble, they're invading. So the thing is, and that struggle is here now. If you are 19, if you are 22, if you were 25, if you were as old as I am begging you, please get yourself acquainted with the issues going on. Get back into the fight because this is going to be controversial. I am getting more and more depressed by the fact that the leadership of the diaspora organizations who are supposed to represent you can't come together and unite to figure out a way to politically back Fano and others who are fighting this fight. They're just on the sidelines going, okay, what are we going to do? Like, how is this going to be done? When can we pick out the offices for each other? Some of you have read my columns in Medium or Substack about this. So I am pretty much going, oh, for God's sake, like, can't you get your act together? Because your job is to help them over there who are fighting in the Amhara region for you and for your sisters and brothers and sons and daughters who one day will want to go back there and not get picked up because they do a Google search and somebody comes along and knocks on their door. I have seen more death than I really want to. I've had enough of it for the rest of my life. I walked through a field of bodies, which I will not go into details because, again, there are children present. But I saw enough IDPs to last me a lifetime. I saw enough of that I don't want to see that again. Which is why Fano has a code of conduct, which is why the people who are fighting to help save the Amhara have a code of conduct to help preserve that culture. So please get involved in this and make your thoughts known to some of these organizations to send a message for them to get their act together to help support Fano. Because this is important. Thank you. I'll close, but I'm glad you're applauding this because I worry. I didn't want to come here and bring down the tone of this thing with a political message. But the thing is, this is your culture, this is your history, and it's fine to celebrate that. But you are in a battle, and if you don't realize it, you better start. There are idiots south of the border who can't even admit that you folks were the cradle of civilization. You folks were, man started in Ethiopia. Man came from Ethiopia first, And they think civilization started with Europeans. And I happen to know that's a crock. It doesn't take anything away from me to go, no, there were African cultures thriving, creating good governance, doing all these things. But it needs you. It needs you to speak up now. It needs you to lead the fight. And that young man who's busy shouting Adwa and busy doing his little speech, you need to see that same kind of spirit, that same kind of passion for your nation, for your homeland now, because it needs you very badly. And on that note, I'm going to shut up and go away.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, Jeff Pearce, as usual. I mean, he's always very ambitious and very enthusiastic about Ethiopia and Ethiopians, and he's a good friend of Ethiopia and Ethiopians. So let's give it one more time for Jeff Pearce. እና እንግዲህ እስካሁን የመጣነው ይሄንን ይመስላል። ወደሚቀጥለው ከመሄዳችን በፊት የአበሻ እንጀራ ላደረገው ስፖንሰርሺፕ የኢትዮጵያ ማህበር እጅግ በጣም ያመሰግናል። ለአቶ ብርሃነ እዚህ የትውልድ አደራ የሚል መጽሐፍ እየሸጠ ነው እና ለሱም እንደዚሁ ስፖንሰር ስላደረገ ታላቅ አክብሮቱንና ምስጋናውን ይገልጻል የኢትዮጵያ ማህበር። እንግዲህ በዚህ በመድረኩ ላይ ያለው ዝግጅት ይሄንን ይመስል ነበር እስከዚህ ደቂቃ ድረስ እና የመድረኩ ዝግጅት አሁን በዚሁ ይጠናቀቃል። እኔም ተሰናብቻችሁ እወርዳለሁ። ከዛ በኋላ ባላደራው ዲጄ ብርሃን ይረከባችሁና እንግዲህ ትንሽ አንቀሳቀሳችኋል በአድዋ ድል መንፈስ። ለዚህ እንግዲህ ከመድረኩ